Just letting y'all know what's going on with me. I was attacked by my dad at my own home, and he had a .40 caliber weapon. During the attack, the weapon went off, and they got the .40 caliber spent shell casing, but they saying it ain't no weapon. You don't get no spent shell casing without no weapon. The weapon belonged to his other son, my brother. I saw it. He ended up, matter of fact, that's probably the same weapon. He going into 2 different court cases, possibly with the same weapon. They hid body cam footage of the weapon. They knew, both of the prosecutors knew about both of the cases with the weapon, but they worked together and hid that. They were finna set me up for 40 years. 40 years or 10 years of adjudication, probation, knowing I was innocent. Because I called both of the prosecutor's office. I'm like, was that the same? Was it a .40 caliber weapon that he used? He pulled it on in another county. Then he sent me threats. I tried to go file charges. I had a witness with me up there. Got the police officer's card. I couldn't file charges then. But back to the story. I stayed in there 3 days. Big old knot. Bruised, messed up ribs. Tried to file charges. They say I couldn't file charges because he filed charges already. First lawyer said that was a lie, but that's what they told me. Get another lawyer. Oh, there's no evidence of you going to the station. I got the guy's card that was in the courtroom finna allow me. They know with my truck going up there. They can track they could have tracked my truck that I went up there. It was cameras in the station. They got body cam footage. They know I've been up there. Oh, we can't find nothing saying that you went to the station to file charges. They illegally searched my home, knowing that he had the weapon. Then when I get out, it's pictures in my phone. Well, I go to the station, then I go to the hospital to make sure there wasn't nothing wrong with me because I was still in pain. But when I get out, there's pictures in my phone. They took pictures of him on the ground. You could see his uniform off the reflection in my car. I sent them to my mom's side of the family. They saw it. My aunt C saw it from my daddy's side. She's like, it's a police uniform. It's a big dude. You can see the blue suit, the black boots, and everything in the reflection. Then the other lawyers say, one of the other lawyers say, don't tell nobody, but your auntie, she a warden in the prison. She texts one of the officers and asked them to send the picture. On the time of the pictures was in the phone, it was at 9:41 a.m. I was already in jail at 9:41 a.m. So I couldn't have took no pictures. I didn't take the pictures. So she was like, oh, you took the pictures and fake crying. Couldn't send no pictures, and they had my phone at 9:41. So they tried to change the time to 6:41. They started changing it remotely. And then they moved the 9:41 to that Friday because I was at work in Marble Falls, Texas that Friday. So if I'd have sent it then, it should ping off of a tower in Marble Falls. But the police officer still had the phone because after I got off of work, me and my ex, we went to Walmart. Then later that night, she called and texted the officer to get my phone and my watch and a chain, a cross with the Lord's Prayer in it. So he still had the phone. There still was no way I could have sent it at 9:41 that morning, but they changed the cell phone company. Then they locked my mama's phone. She had the same company, which had been in the news for corruption and scandals in the past or whatever. Big name cell phone company. It's like they trying to get that phone cut off. But when I'm telling my lawyer this, he was like, I guess they sending them words like, crazy and conspiracy theories, trying to make it like I'm crazy when I'm gifted. I was the first person, if I'm not mistaken, on my dad's side of the family to go to college, and I'm the oldest grandchild. And that'll play a part later. But like I said, they didn't illegally search my home. They saying it ain't no weapon, but they're charging me with assault with a deadly weapon and gonna threaten me with 40 years of probation or 10 years, or 40 years in prison or 10 years of probation, knowing that I was innocent. They blocked the evidence of his other case in the other county. He got off on both of them. They got him out of both of them charges. Why he got a DWI, probably on probation for a DWI already. In and out of jail, violent crimes. They covered all that up. They're gonna have all that covered up. Then, so my auntie, like I say, she wasn't in the prison. She was a part of the setup. But I think they had something to gain. My uncle's wife, she said that, well, you was on the wheel and they've been stealing your money for a long time, oil field money. I never knew nothing about it. I'm finding out about family property about a year ago. They all got a big settlement after they got me tied up in this case. They never even talked about my papa or whatever. So after all that get out, there's more to that too. But after all that get out, the setup, I tried to start I started me a trucking company, Super Trucker LLC. Tried to get my authority. The state does not recognize your address. But my address is on your state issue ID. So make that make sense for me. And it's just been a lot, been going through a lot. I tried to get my EIN number. My name came back from the IRS as a Michael Wilson Jr. There is no Michael Wilson Jr. in the family on my dad's side of the family. My name is Anthony G. Wilson Jr. Kind of a strange typo. Big difference from Anthony G. and Jr. and a Michael. That's a really, really big difference. Like that had been changed somewhere before. But they gonna trying to say I'm crazy when I'm gifted. Cause I was the first one to go to school, electrical engineering. The high TOS score was academic recognition, and TOS math, I was TASP exempt. From any college I wanted to go to. Got in the PV, Prairie View. My ELEG 101 teacher gave me a problem. And I solved it. She looked at me, Dr. O, a lady, gave me a problem. She looked at it and said, I had to buy a book to understand another book, to understand another book, to figure out, to understand that problem you just solved. So ain't nothing wrong with me. They tried they suppressed the evidence under the Brady rule. They were supposed to have that out. And whatever they hiding on that footage they wouldn't show, that's probably them taking the pictures of him on the ground or the bribe, whatever went on. That's probably in that suppressed footage that they refused to show my lawyer. Nobody will probably never see that footage. Went so far as to put the neighborhood dealer, they was gonna have him lie in court. And chief police there on the 500 feet in front of him, block busy all day, all night. Hell, it's all on my Ring camera. They pushing this poison on the streets. Probably what happened to that girl at that college. Probably got some of that bad stuff that's unaliving these people these days, trying to cover it up. Been reaching out to the DOJ, FBI, Dallas, Houston. Nobody got back. So I ain't doing nothing. They put that bad rap on my name. I'm fighting for my good name. I've been reaching out since the last administration. Reaching out during this administration. Like I said, it's all on my Ring camera. I ain't doing nothing if I'm reaching out to the FBI. So the picture they plastered on the news of me, you can see the concussion in my eyes on that picture. Just made their own story up. And that block been day and night, non-stop, since I've been there, since I finally reached out on my phone. Then when I reached out to the FBI, I sent them letters out. I went to the UPS store and got it to where you can track it. So that should be there. So whatever narrative they try to paint, it's a lie. Then I did it on my phone. The next day, man, it was trips back and forth because the chief's son stayed right next to the dealer across the street. Man, it was trips back and forth all day from the chief house to his son's house, and from that house to a van to somewhere else. Like they were getting everything up out of there. Yeah. A few weeks went by, he stopped staying over there then. It's like they got my phone hacked or something, like illegal hacking it. But he got back to doing it. It's videos on my truck video transaction. But they trying to set me up, and they got all this going on. They pushing these poison to these kids on the street. Matter of fact, I was headed to Bryan College Station one day to have something printed out, and that red Charger come every day. There's videos in my phone. Just hit record. He either go in the house and come right back out, or the dude in the house or the dealer will come out to the car, go back in the house. And it's on my Ring footage. They can find it. They just trying to cover it up and trying to paint me out to be a bad guy. So, yeah, like I said, that car was coming from College Station. I hit record on my Ring camera. Got that on footage. It might have been what happened, but they gonna cover that up. That lady, they gonna cover the dirt up. And if the message get out to somebody else and the FBI ain't got nothing, there's some red flags right there. Well, they can't find nothing. How everybody act with this information, getting this information, they'll let you know if they in on it or not. Everybody, I done had family members, they done saw it. Ain't nothing wrong with me. They done saw this traffic. The guy loud as hell. He don't even use no code words for it. Call it exactly what it is when he trying to recruit people, cutting hair on the port, and they gonna get him to come lie on me in court. Block all the evidence under the Brady rule. All that evidence is supposed to be out in court. And opening argument. They got it. They know I was innocent. They know they were setting me up, and they just kept going on with the setup. So I'm not doing nothing. I'm keeping my faith in God. I'm fighting for my good name. And like I say, the ACLU, they know about it. They didn't have a case. A girl in my church went through this. Oprah got a movie on it called American Violet. And they were doing the same thing, attacking her funds, getting her fired from jobs. At the company I'm at now, I say I made $32,000, but I'm getting $40 and $50 and $60 going to my bank account at time. And I'm a flatbed owner-operator. That math ain't mathing, but I'm calling them. So it been some attacks coming from a bunch of different places. My family involved in the setup. They know about it. But the dad side of the family, they got paid. After they sent me, I guess they thought they wasn't gonna ever hear from me again. They already got paid. They already got the big payout. Uncle M, they took him off the wheel, but I guess they gave him some hush money too, cause apparently he ended up with a house somewhere, but he can't stay clean, get a job or nothing. So where he get the money from to do that? From what my pops say anyway. Pops say he smoked so much, almost took himself up out of here. But Pops on that stuff too, talking about he tried it one time. But only person you cool with smoke, everybody knows smoke. One time lie. And been going on since 2020. I'm fighting it, so I'm asking for prayers. A lot of people involved, a lot of people trying to cover it up, don't want it to come out. I was buying my truck, my Silverado. The guy brought me a set of GMC keys. Only person I know, and they had another key on it. So I'm guessing them. Only person I know that drive GMC is my pops or whatever. Because my ex had the truck, she was driving the truck because she had to get to work. And the guy said, "No, you got the wrong person." But now you say they came out of your truck. He'll try to lie about that if they his keys. But I'm not sure who keys they are. Brought me a set of keys, GMC keys with another key on there. Got them in here somewhere. But yep, just sharing my story, letting y'all know what they trying to do to me. Like I said, I've been to ACLU, DOJ in the last two administrations, FBI, Texas Rangers. They gave me a bogus number. We're gonna give you the number to the Hearn Department. They're allowing this poison to get sold in these streets. They covering for them. There's been cases to where people have been through the same thing. They cut my lights off, but I got a neighbor moved next to me. He moved to Conroe now. Shout out to Conroe for still having up the 10 Commandments. They trying to fight for Christians over there, but trying to get the 10 Commandments took down over here. Make it make sense. See what they do about this Christian over here going through this. But I got a neighbor, they were cutting my lights off, and they tied his lights. They went from my pole from my house and just dug a little pole in the ground to the next to my house. So they tied his light pole right there, tapped into mine. So when they started cutting my lights off when he was there, so he can vouch for that. It would cut his off too, because they tapped into mine instead of making another one like they was supposed to. So they was cutting his lights off too. But another guy been through that, city councilman, Jackson versus Robinson County, or Jackson versus Hearn. Read up on that too. Texas Rangers, the chief done already been under investigation from the Texas Rangers so many times, they just brush it under the rug. They know they can keep getting away with it, so they keep doing it. He got a whole, like I said, he got a whole operation going on. All this going on, and it's why the police car there. You can shoot these cars, traffic all day long. Why the police car there? They try to slow it down now, because I done reached out on my phone. Shoot, reaching out about it. I'm fighting for my good name. They just gonna have to do what they got to do. I'm standing in my truth though. I'll keep you updated on my situation, but not doing nothing. I don't own no weapons. They know I don't own no weapons. They was asking for one in during the attack. Shoot, ain't nothing wrong with me. I'm gifted. Shoot, I ain't nobody crazy. They just trying to cover up their mess. Shoot. I'll be tracking that red car, check that girl's system, see if anything was in there. They gonna put out what kind of story they want though. They gonna paint the narrative. Trust me, I know. But I'll keep you updated on my situation and more posts. I set up a GoFundMe, share my story, to let some of these parents know what is around their children. Because the Austin and Waco had to come save the lady at my church in the ACLU. Then they gon', matter of fact, on that, they gonna put these trumped up charges on me. Then I can keep my Second Amendment rights, but I can't vote. You trying to paint me out as violent, but I can keep my Second Amendment rights, but I can't vote. Make it make sense. I'm crazy. So I'll keep you posted. It's really much more to the story. I'm out here trying to get it. Bills due. Like I say, it's like my credit union. I got statements on there. It's a lot of people involved on this. I put $50 on one of my bills or whatever. Just put in one of the accounts, and they just taking it out of there like a firm did it. But when a firm take money, because I had to use a firm to get a lawyer and my credit cards to get a lawyer, so I had to rack up some debt from this setup. So I got my bills. I'm trying to move to a safe location, and I barely be there now. I'll be out of town now because they started to lie on me, hollering about some girl left because of me and something with one of her younger nieces. But God made it to where I had a load, which was a lie. She got up out of there. She was seeing what was going on, and it was some disturbing stuff about some of the teachers at their school with them girls, helping the girls with their homework and stuff. There's some disturbing stuff on their school, and she was seeing what those people were doing, and she got her family up out of there. But September the 9th, she moved back toward Angleton, where her people was from, I guess. September the 9th, I ended up seeing her at the truck stop where she worked in Angleton. That'll prove that lie wrong. The girl ran off behind the counter to the back of the line. You don't even need no audio. And don't look like the lies they trying to portray about me with her niece, who I couldn't tell you who looked like. Her kids will have the same exact response if they saw me. So you can tell when something going on with some kids. But I'm fighting for my justice. I already know the cards stacked against me, but I'm gonna keep my faith in God, and I'm gonna keep on fighting for my good name. Lawyer didn't sign for no court of appeals, but I'm going to Austin and Waco with my story anyway. Even though I know they keep letting them off. I done back these stories up. They keep letting them do what they want to do. So I'm just fighting for it best I can, the right way. Gonna see it, cause Austin, every time you hear about them, they in the news about something. When they was locking people up during COVID, hell, I was one of them. That was attempted M right there, attempted red rum right there. All of them had COVID already. They know everybody up there had COVID. They set me up and threw me in there during COVID. That's when I got locked up. Been going on for years. They try to reset it. So they not held accountable after the statute of limitations. They make these laws to where they can get away with stuff. But I keep you posted on my fight. There's still more to the story. I'm just at work, mind all over the place right now. I'm dealing with this. So I don't know why God gave me this battle. Though they slay me, I'm gonna trust him. And I'm standing up for my good name. I'm gonna say something about it. I'm not gonna wait for them to give them their next chance to lie, say this, and no. I'm speaking up. So this is what I'm going through. Pray for me, all you prayer warriors out there. And I keep you posted on the story. And I'll get back at you.